I'm here to tell you the story about how EG will beat Astralis at Blast Premier Global Finals 2020 in a week. I'm just kidding. I already played the intro. Let's go. The number one reason why they'll be able to beat them is because of this cat right here. His name is Breeze. A top 20 player on HLTV. What more do you have to say? Extraordinary year. Part of the reason that they were able to beat Astralis in 2019 in a best of 5 grand finals. How many best of 5 grand finals did Astralis win in 2019? I don't know. We have a major win for them. We have Liquid's back-to-back S-tier ESL event wins to get the to win the Grand Slam. How many best of 5 grand finals did Astralis win in 2019? This was an extraordinary result for EG. The question is, how did they do this, man? ESL 1 New York, this is right around, September, end of September. Right before this is the major. Right before that is Liquid's peak. The best Liquid's ever been in the history of games. Counter-Strike games. That was the point, that Liquid looked unstoppable. Sponge was pushing this very true narrative that Liquid were probably the highest skilled pound for pound roster at top 1 of all time. I think it was true. They were proving it. Everything was going well, and then all of a sudden it just fell out. They ended up losing to Astralis that bounced back after a shoddy start to the year after Stewie joined. Stewie helped Liquid beat them at the iBuyPower event at the beginning of the year, but it was kind of a lame event. It was weird. There were tech issues. Whatever, it was a wash. But then Liquid came back, and they showed they were still around. But all the while, EG were continuously getting better and improving. Why? Because of 2 players named Ethan and Breeze. Oh, and I would like to also draw to your attention another very important part of this, okay? Somebody who, since joining EG, proved that he is not a fair weather IGL. That he is not a honeymoon period IGL. He proved that with EG. This is the event this is the team that he has joined now that has shown that they've got longevity. They've bounced back. They've gotten better and better. And you know what's even cooler? This one we have to really get on the fly, okay? About EG, I got to make sure to get a flattering picture here to do it justice. Look who else is on the roster. Zeus is the coach. These guys actually brought it together and fixed they had a bad history because they both used to play together on Liquid. And then Stanislaw got cut by Liquid after Zeus joined, and there was a lot of bad blood. But Stanislaw showed that he's a consummate professional. Zeus showed that he's a consummate professional. And they both showed everybody that they are here to win more than they are here to be friends. They are now on EG together, working together to make the team better. They put their differences aside for the sake of getting better at the game. That's something that we don't see often enough in Counter-Strike. Too much pettiness, too many inferences about the way someone was, about, this small thing about their personality. They said, fuck that. We want to win, and we see, even though we may not like each other for these certain personality issues or differences within the game, we recognize that we both want to win so bad we can figure it out. So they worked it out, and now they're on the same roster. These are a couple of the reasons why EG will win their group stage match versus Astralis at the Blast Premier Global Final 2020. This is a $600,000 first place event, $1 million prize pool, the culmination of the spring series, which was the LAN at the beginning of the year, the spring showdown, the spring final, the fall series, the fall showdown, the fall final. The teams that qualified through here. And we are left with these 8. Astralis, Vitality, Navi, Furia, G2, Complexity, EG. EG is the last seed. Astralis is the first seed. Are there any questions? There shouldn't be. This makes sense. Does that mean that they're completely out of this? No. Here's another reason why EG will beat Astralis at the Blast Premier Global Finals in the group stage. Astralis always suck ass at the beginning of the year. Okay, empirical evidence, but this is a thing. We look at the beginning of the year. Let's go ahead and look at, okay, we got an upset loss to Navi at the beginning of the year at Blast, okay. This was considered an upset because Astralis at the end of every year always finish strong, but at the beginning of the year, they always suck ass, okay? I keep going to the same page. I'm so sorry for doing this. Let me make this easier, all right? Astralis matches. Zoom, 2019, February. I'm not making this easier. 1-2 to not Svencir here to be eliminated from the lower bracket. So this wasn't even the first loss at the event, plus Complexity upset at the Spring Series. This was a bad event to kick off the year for Astralis. Then we have the iBuyPower Masters Liquid Astralis event, match that happened. Wow, what a game. 2019. Remember, that was 2020 that just happened. This is 2019 when Liquid nearly had the era. Needed the one major, I think, to have it. But won the Grand Slam. This was well before that, okay? 20th of January, 2019. Right after the player break. Liquid beat Astralis. This was unheard of at the time. This was not supposed to happen. Okay, this was not supposed to happen. This never happens. Okay, you want to see the odds of this happening? Let's look at their head-to-head. Okay, in terms of series losses, 1, 2, 3, 4, best of 1 win for Liquid, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, best of 1 win for Liquid, 13, best of 1 loss for Liquid. There it is. Win at ESL New York 2017. They're not the hope. Yeah, Liquid are not the hope until further notice. We'll see, actually. You know what? Liquid with Liquid with Fallen, they will beat them in a series. I guarantee you they will beat Astralis in a series. I guarantee it. Okay. Are you sipping on the NA juice yet? The Stanislaw Zeus juice? Do I need to sell you more? Do I need to sell you more on this? Breeze top 20 player 2020. Ethan. King of Banana Ethan. Okay. Here's why EG have had more success versus Astralis than Liquid. Let me explain that to you. It's all about map pool. Okay. They've got a better IGL with Stanislaw compared to Stewie, and they had always had a better map pool that was more competitive versus Astralis. That is the main difference. So when we talk about certain maps that are going to come up in the pool consistently, when we looked at Liquid, they couldn't win Inferno. They might win Dust 2. They wouldn't win Nuke, and then they lose a best of 3. Then if it was a best of 5, they'd lose Nuke, they'd lose Inferno, they'd lose Train, they'd potentially be able, and they lose Inferno, then they'd potentially be able to win Dust 2, and then later on in the history of Astralis versus Liquid, Vertigo came into play, but even then, it didn't even work out that well. EG, though, they had positive maps versus Astralis, despite an overall losing record on maps like Inferno and Nuke. This was very surprising. Then there was Dust 2 here. As we can see, these are the maps that they ended up pulling out. Now, it's been a year, and EG, they've, it's Astralis who are in the hyperbolic time chamber. They've been playing against European teams and getting better and better and better. But I firmly believe that if EG didn't bomb out at Blast Series, which I will show you right now, was kind of close. If they didn't bomb out their first event back in Europe and then didn't have to travel back and get COVID complications, my prediction was, just like with Liquid, just like with Furia, a rough first event maybe, but then they would come back and be a bit stronger. I think they would have gotten as good as a top 3 NA team. I think they would have gotten as good and competitive versus the European teams as Liquid as Furia got. I think they got a little bit more unlucky. That's how I would look at it. Here are the matches. Okay, I'm going to show you. These are not that. One of these was very close. Okay, we're looking at a match that ends in a 16-14 on overpass. This was hella close. I think EG even threw this game. And then NIP versus EG, not a great first game, but this is also close. Let's see if it was who it was. Yeah, it was EG to even win back the tie and then lose an OT. It was close, right? It was very, very fine margins. They didn't just get stomped out and lose. All right, so now this is all, it's all a big ruse. Why am I making this video? It's a big ruse. It's all to finally do a demo on, you guessed it, Ethan. He hasn't been announced yet on the HLTV Top 20. I'm sure it's on the way, guys. I'm sure it's on the way. A lot of NA presence this year. I'm sure Ethan is no exception. Great year for Ethan. Not an amazing Kato, so that's the reason why we haven't seen him, I guess, for this year. Did play as well at the Blast Mirror Spring Series, which is also a LAN. But yeah, just decent. So that's why, Breeze takes 20 over him. And of course, no presence at the end of the year after the fall series. But in the 10th to 12th spot, he was actually not the reason that they got eliminated. Definitely did pretty damn well overall. So why do we want to look at Ethan? Because Ethan is such a key piece to EG's Inferno and specifically EG's Banana. All right. And I think that first of all, there's a specific part of the game plan I think that's going to be important here. Astralis, we look at their Inferno and we see that they have had a very, very strong end to the year on Inferno. Vitality 16-5 was a statement game here, a reference match, as Maniac would say, where they stomped out their competition after getting slapped. This is the Astralis Classic coming back and winning a revenge match in the biggest way possible. Both of these matches are going to be great for learning from. If you're EG, we have the wins over Astralis and Liquid, not quite as relevant, I think, to a system like EG's, which I feel like is a bit more calculated than Navi's and just a bit better than Liquid's, at least on Inferno. And then we have the match versus Mouse Sports, which I think was a very, very telling match that showed, and we watched in the demos on this channel, how important Cubby is at the Archway for winning rounds versus Glaive. It seems to be a blind spot on his radar for what goes on at Inferno. This was a big reason. We look at this. It was BMAS and it was Rops, who absolutely had an amazing game here. I think this is the demo I watched for the Rops video. If you can spot him out in the silhouette, Rob's 23-6, an incredible CT side, 20-4. BMAS was equally as impressive. I would recommend watching both. But here we are to watch Ethan because I think early on in the year, Element Putty also, or not Element Putty, let me find this video. It was Mahone who did a great video on, I searched Mahone Ethan on Google and found just a person. Mahone TV. He's now the coach of NIP actually. And I would like to find this video where basically he explains how Ethan was so good at, I think it was this one. Let's see.
I'm going to go over a couple of rounds from EG versus Liquid, talking about decision-making, map control, and rotations.
Yes.
Area and
it was one of these videos. This would be a great video to watch as well. Anyways, the CT side from EG, especially on Inferno, is something to talk about. I think it's world class. it's getting better all the time. I'm sure they'll come prepared. Liquid like to lose an opening match. I think EG are one of the best upset teams. They come prepared. They have the talent. I think they can do it. This is my argument. Let's hop into the demo and watch and see what our guy Ethan does so damn well on Inferno. I think in terms of, he honestly looks like a tool assist, like he's tool assisted with the way that he enters on banana, clears out angles, posts up, defends. He hits the shots like any tier 1 level player. He is rock solid when it comes to the site. I think this game was like pretty good. I wanted to pick one of the European matches so that not necessarily as a lesson, so that I could see as well what their Inferno looked like when they came to Europe. That's a question for me, but this is a game versus OG at Blast Premier Fall Series. And for those of you who missed it, they lost this game. They lost versus NIP. They got eliminated. They flew back to America, and they had COVID complications, so they couldn't come back to play at the Showdown, play at the Fall Final, or play at the at any of the remaining, I think it was DreamHack Masters and, the Global Challenge. Any of those events, they couldn't come back to play in. And I'm not sure which ones they were supposed to, but they couldn't. But Ethan, he was waiting for his chance to show everybody what he can do. And he didn't disappoint, at least in this match. And I'm here to also learn because I haven't watched an Ethan demo. I've only ever watched Ethan live playing on Inferno and caught glimpses of the brilliance. All right, we've got the fast flank in here. Soup. Oh, looking like, I thought it was going to be a really, really easy round, but it looks like OG are holding. My goodness. And Breeze. Okay, he's in the 1v2, 1v3. Oh my god, he's not getting killed either. No way he sticks that. 1 health on the clutch. Ooh, they needed that a lot. Let's go ahead and see what happens now. We're on to a second round. These rounds are very interesting to watch. Most games, anti-ecos are not that systematic on CT side. I think it's a lot of waiting. Just it's more about nuance. Like, when do I want to throw my utility? When do I want to peek something? On Inferno, it is really systematic. I would say, with the way the rotations work. It's very kind of like cut and dry. Like, this is what needs to happen here. This is what needs to happen here. And it's because the rotations are so demanding. You really have to think about the whole map when you're playing and taking information. So we see Yellow is cheating over towards A site with Ethan spotting. And part of what makes you a good banana player is your shoulder peaks. This is going to be a huge deal here, right? If someone wide swings on him and he goes too wide on a shoulder peak, he loses focus. They can take him out, and if they take him out, look how far the rotations are away, right? It's a very scary situation. Now, luckily for EG, it is going to be the A-site hit, so it's no problem, and it'll also get a kill. Let's take a look what happens this round, and I knew that this was going to be a demo where there was just going to be so much to be able to learn from, and again, in terms of how these two will be playing it, there's a really, really solid hold, and just like we see with Tarek running down banana in that situation, Ethan sometimes is the front runner as well. He'll be coming out at first in front of the half wall with the flashes to support, and banana is all about options, okay? Well, it's all about options and the execution. The execution sometimes a little bit messy. You can't always rely on like a super beautiful execution. There's always going to be like, getting half blind by a new flash that you didn't expect every single time. But ultimately, it's about having the nade setups. Are we triple nading logs this round? Or what are we doing when we see the car molly? How are we responding to someone pushing through the smoke? Or do we think we're going to push through the smoke? Are we jumping half wall? Are we going to be pushing down? Are we going to stay back? Are we going to re-aggress? Like big at the minute mark and try to reclaim top car control? Are we playing versus the opponents? Or are we just playing how we play? Are we playing our own game? These are all questions you legitimately have to ask yourself when it comes to playing on banana. And for those reasons, it's very systematic. It's very game plan focused, and it's all about how many options you have. Because, of course, you can be prepared, but if the other team is prepared too, then you're going to have to change things on the fly. So here's Ethan with a Cirque with a really solid hold after a disappointing start to the round. OG don't do a good job of keeping the pressure high and pushing all the way down. Oh, this is a very scary spot actually, but Alexi B doesn't get that kill. And Montu dies first. Issa gets shot in the back, and they try to jump through the smoke, but Ethan is a wall. He does not let him up through the smoke. Everybody dies, and of course they do just kind of have pistols here, but very clean shooting. An ace for Ethan, and another fast aggressive push. You know, you love to see this. It's the deep aggressive banana molly, only the deep molly, not the short molly, and the deep smoke as well, and best spawn coming out first. Basically, that's how this has gone. So overall, they established, they got control, they've got 3 on A. Ideal situation here for the CT side. OG have to decide whether or not they are going to try to play 2-2, or if they're going to just play 3-1. And Tarek, again, he's putting up his end, his half of the fight as well. 2 kills, and now there's not even enough time to get a safe plant. Somehow that shot is missed. In the demo, it looks perfect. I think I remember watching this game live, and I feel like I'm kind of surprised that happened. So here we've got the close mollies, and we have the nades, and we saw Alexi jump out to logs. So you identify, some players love jumping out logs. Some players, you know, like Device, he might jump out to the right side more often and try to play off the corner of the smoke. So you're trying to target your nades towards those players. Those players are trying to avoid your HEs. This is all Astralis' fault, of course, but that's the name of the game. So now we've got the passive version of the banana hold. Things are going incredibly well for EG right now. They can go ahead and test out whatever they want to. They don't necessarily have to keep the pressure on. If they lose a round like this, then they will have to try to do something new, something a bit more aggressive to try to close the game out. But even like a play like this can sometimes be to draw out so much utility, because you know you've conditioned the other team into believing you're going to push every round. So now you're baiting out free utility. You're avoiding that damage. And here we've got a setup. I think Astralis' setup in the B side is the best, sitting on second oranges, playing Coffin second oranges. I think that setup is so good. Maybe it's just them who makes it look that good, but would love to see this NB and see how it ends. Of course, the difficulty is the rotation again. That's what we're always paying attention to. How demanding is the rotation? How much emphasis is there on the hold? Like in this spot, I'm saying, you know, they have to get 2 kills. They've got a player kind of cheated in CT spawn. So, you know, they have to get, I think they have to get 2 kills, and they have to delay a little bit. Then they're in business. If they get 3 kills, they're winning. 2 kills, delaying it a little bit, they're still doing okay. 1 kill, unacceptable. They'll lose the round. No retake is going to even happen. But it ends up being the A side anyways. And now we've got the close molly again. They're trying to punish logs for the person on this default. Nobody is fighting them here. So I think they're confident. They knew that this was going to happen. No one was going to try to fight them. They got the information as well. They didn't just play back and throw the nades, which I really appreciate as well. You can't be afraid to take the duels when you have to, just to get that information. And we don't see anyone. That's the best. Here they have confirmation. They go back to the spot setup. They're pretty confident it's going to be the A site. Alexi can be tricky with the tempo that he picks, because it feels like he's more of like a mouse sports, like Kerrigan style caller, where it's sometimes just so fast, sometimes it's really slow, meticulous, very hard guy to read. But they got the kill to ease up, and now they can really just chill. This spot up on the half wall is a position that's played very often because it's hard to clear, because I talked about this before, when you're coming into the site, you have to dedicate watching certain angles as the entry player, and you don't want to get shot in the back while you're trying to clear top oranges. There's a number of ways to deal with this. Sometimes you're going to spam through the smoke. Sometimes you're going to run across. Sometimes you're going to ignore it and let your teammate trade. That's the reason why we see so many people just die to this guy boosted, even though you could pre-fire. It's just about how many people do you have to be able to watch this when you're coming in. So Ethan's trying to draw attention this way, and Alexi just comes through with the spam immediately on Tarek. He doesn't fall for this whatsoever. Ethan dropped the entire mag just to try to sell that. And maybe sold it too hard, or maybe Alexi was going to spam that, no questions asked. But that's immediately a priority. It gets called out. And we saw in a couple of the rounds that they had gone for a very similar setup. And wow, what a round from Valda. He just absolutely destroys 3 players, 1v3. Another similar setup at the top of banana. It's not totally passive. It's it's still them gathering information. At least at first here, they don't actually turn the corner on the half wall. I think is an important thing to make note of. And it looks like they're going to try to do, I don't know if they'll actually retake off of this or if they'll just throw the nades. But what they want to do is tell the other team that they have retaken top banana, and try to play off the fact that they don't think OG will actually be there at top banana. So this will force OG to use new nades. It opens up the position on like sandbags, for example, or it creates suspicion about different positions now that they have smoked them out of that spot. And here it looks like they're going to try to wait after the smoke goes up to try to flash retake top banana, I'm assuming, and then punish OG for coming up after that nade. So it's like a honeypot setup is how I would say it. I think it is really, really good. We see a perfect clear. Absolutely that's the kind of moment that we want to see from Ethan, like an absolutely beautiful clear. He gets the damage in, they spot the bomb. Okay, so yes, 4v4, you would say, oh, that's not an amazing trade for the CTs, but they saw the bomb. It's 30 seconds. They just saw 2 players. That means for the Ts, they don't know what's going to happen on A. They don't know how many players rotated over towards B. It's a much more nerve-wracking situation for the T side. And we see the bomb just does end up committing, and people rotate over. They get the man advantage, and as long as they don't throw it away, they're winning in the retake. And yeah, it's a very, very comfortable spot. Of course, low nades now. See, they played the passive setup, but they did the retake. They might have dropped a very important nade set. That would have been the coffin smoke. And now they're just... now they have no choice but to just like try to fight into the site versus an op. And that's, of course, a losing play for OG. So this nade, it bounces off that like angular wall and just lands right behind the half wall in case somebody is going there on the default. And you want to condition so that you can throw your nades in different places. And we see on the radar, wow, there's a few players coming in. Ethan takes 2 out, a wonderful hold, and they have absolutely no choice but to commit. They lose. EG win. Pretty beautiful half. Everything made sense. They were in full control of things. The calling, like, it's very apparent that, like, you know, we have a good amount of control over the whole, the entire narrative for the half for EG, right? That, like, you know, Zeus and Stanislaw are, and sometimes it is Ethan and Tarek who are going to call things for themselves. How do you want to approach banana? How do you want, whatever. But sometimes Stanislaw is going to be like, I think they're going to do this time on banana. Because A and B have to communicate. If you don't have banana control, you need something on A to make up for that, and vice versa. And so sometimes there's certain teams that appear to play banana just they don't give it too much thought. EG are a team, I think, they have a very good system when it comes to their CT side on Inferno. Are going to see a lot of thought and and planning that goes into the map. And you know, It's of course an unlikely result for EG to be able to take down Astralis, but I genuinely think there is a chance, and I'm not joking about, you know, Astralis struggling in the beginning of the year. Not joking about the fact that EG have always had the best map pool in NA versus Astralis, and actually the best chances and the best results, I think, overall versus Astralis. It's just the year that they spent apart and these questionable, you know, short-term results from EG in the last few months before they had to go back to NA. But apart from that, I think there is hope, and I think there is a pretty decent veto, and I think yeah, it might be at least a little bit of an interesting match. But getting very, very excited to at the thought of going to cast the global finals again, $600,000 for first place, and 8 great teams, $1 million event. It's going to be super sick. I'm going to bring my A game, and hopefully so will EG. All right, so I'll see you guys I won't see you tomorrow, I don't think. Actually, I will. I think so, because I'm flying tomorrow at night, so I might be able to record before I fly. All right, take care, everybody. See you tomorrow.